Hello, everyone. In this episode, I'm gonna summarize some of the impressive features of GPT-4. It's been a couple of weeks since GPT-4 came out, and partly for my own record, I'd like to summarize what impressed me about GPT-4. Okay. So the first thing that I noticed is that the size and the pace of the development is really accelerating, which is scary. My impression was that when ChatGPT, which was based on GPT 3.5, came out in November last year, 2022, it's about sounded like a fifth grader intelligence. That it tries to say too much, and even if it doesn't know, it tries to just say anything to impress. But remarkably, it had a lot of impressive scores in test taking and many things. And I thought that the next version would take probably a year or two, and the ability improvement will be just in a linear scale, just be somewhat better. But GPT-4, which came out last month, really beat my expectation, and also the size that people estimate it's grown explosive phase. But I think it's sort of like a high school graduate to me in terms of ability. So here is, well, in terms of the case of really spread out this technology, you probably know that the ChatGPT to reach million users is really fast, and GPT-4 is probably going to do even better. Okay, so the first thing that I noticed that GPT-4 relative to GPT 3.5, which ChatGPT is based on, was the ability improvement. So the blue bars are for all kinds of exam like AP Calculus BC to LSAT, the law school exam, GRE, and many things. The blue bars are what GPT 3.5 or ChatGPT had, and the green bars are where GPT-4 is. So you can see that, well, some of the basic ones like AP Art History, Psychology, some of the things, History, it tends to score really well, like some of them reaching like 80% level, which probably is passing grade for AP subjects. But it didn't do as well for like more intelligent stuff like LSAT or some hard science, or AMC 10, the math competition, or BC Calculus. But what you will see here is that the green bar. So I thought that it was like a fifth grader ability. But then here is like what it did for GPT-4. Like even for LSAT, it passes above 80%. So you are basically having a decent score, or US ABO fifth semifinal, or some of the things like GRE verbal, it scores really high. Right? So it seems like it's about reaching like a high school graduate-ish. Right? So that was the first thing. Within like a couple of months, the ability really improved a lot. And you can see here in many languages how it performs. It originally was just for ChatGPT. The GPT 3.5 was basically English, but now look how in different languages how well it's doing. It's for across the board, and for many languages it scores really decent. Yeah. So it's not an ordinary high school graduate, if you will, that ability. More surprising was that it actually can sort of infer, it seems like. So what is so funny about this picture? And then it basically points out that this is, if you look at back of your computer, sometimes you have it. It's this VGA connected, the monitor is connected to this. But somehow one of these Japanese companies sells this gadget that it actually is an iPhone connector. And it recognizes that it's the shape of the monitor connector, but it's actually connecting to iPhone, and that is so funny about it. So it can actually take humor and understand it. So also, it seems to be quite capable in knowledge playing with it. So here is an example. Explain the plot of Cinderella in a sentence where each word has to begin with the next letter in the alphabet from A to Z without repeating any letters. And guess what it did? A, B, beautiful, C, Cinderella, D, dwelling, E, eagerly, and it goes on till Z. I don't think it is an easy task for even a human being. I'm not sure. I cannot do it. And it probably is difficult for many people. Yet now ChatGPT is basically mastering the playing with the words. Here's a bit more impressive. So what would happen if the string were cut out? And looking at this picture, the balloons will fly away. It can make an inference, isn't it? Like what it means is that if you cut this cord, it can infer that there is something inside that's lighter than the air, and the strings are holding it. And if you cut the string, the balloons will fly away. All this, like what we take common sense, it can actually now take the visual image and make an inference of what will happen next. So that is really impressive. Another thing that seems what's going on is the multimodal deep learning, in the sense that it can take like the sound, image, and text and combine them and train them together to make a synthesis. So now that if you actually give the sensors like a video camera and a microphone and all this, it can learn all this information. You give an ear, an eye, basically a mouse to the AI engine. So I am not going to play this, but here is, yes, an impressive AI thing that one can do, that Beethoven left some fragment of the last symphony that was incomplete, and some of the researchers basically completed it. And you can hear how it sounds, and it sounds really like Beethoven-ish. Lastly, I think one of the things that was very impressive was that the ChatGPT was like a fifth grader. It's eager to tell anything, even if it's not true. Here, GPT-4, sort of the factual evaluation, so it tends to lie much less. I mean, it's still in the 80% level. There are rooms to improve, but look how much it improved within a couple of months. And it's only a couple of months, like 3 months. So all in all, I think I am very impressed by GPT-4 and the pace of how short time it took to reach here. And yes, we should be seriously thinking what will happen in GPT-5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By the time we reach GPT-10, I think it will have a very significant impact, if not already, on many aspects of our life. So this summarizes my impression with GPT-4. Thank you for watching this episode.